I start with a number. Let's call it W. I multiply it by 2. That gives me 2W. I then add 6. So now I have 2W plus 6. And my answer is 20. So I make all of that equal to 20. Now, if I want to solve it, I've got to go backwards. I've got to do all of this in reverse. What number did I start with? So I do 20 minus 6. That gives me 14. And then 14 divided by 2. That gives me 7. Now, in our second example, I start with a number. This time I'm going to call it J. I multiply it by 3. That gives me 3J. I then add 5. That gives me 3J plus 5. And my answer is 17. So that means 3J plus 5 is equal to 17. What number did I start with? So now I've got to do everything in reverse. The last thing I said was plus 5. So now I've got to minus 5. 17 minus 5 is equal to 12. The first thing I've done was times the J by 3. So now I have to divide this answer by 3. My answer is 4. In my third example, I start with a number. Let's call it B this time. I multiply it by 5. That gives me 5B. I then add 1. That gives me 5B plus 1. And my answer is 31. So all of that is going to be equal to 31 now. What number did I start with? So now I have to go back in reverse. So the last thing I've done was add 1. So now I'm going to take away 1. 31 take away 1 is 30. And if you recall, the first thing I've done was times by 5. So now I'm going to divide that 30 by 5 to give me 6. So my answer is 6. In my final example now, I start with a number. Let's call it W. I multiply it by 3. That gives me 3W. I then take away 5. So now I have 3W take away 5. And my answer is 13. So that means 3W minus 5 is equal to 13. What number did I start with? So now I've got to go backwards. I've got to do everything in reverse. Remember, the first thing I'd done was times by 3, and then I subtracted 5. So I've got to go back. So the opposite of minus and 5 is to add 5. 13 plus 5 is 18. If you recall, the first thing I've done was times by 3, so now this is the last thing that I've done. So now I've got to do 18 divided by 3. My answer is 6. Now it's time for you to have a go. See what you have learned from the 4 examples and apply it with the following questions. Good luck. I hope you do well. Now here are the answers. Please check your answers and see if you've got the correct ones. If you haven't, get your green pen out and start doing the corrections. As you can see, the answers are now all on the board. Give yourself a mark. And obviously, if you made any mistakes, ask your teacher now and they'll help you, and then you can do your corrections. Thanks very much.